Argos is a city in Argolis, Peloponnese, Greece and one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. Also a former bishopric and present Latin Catholic titular see. It is the biggest town in Argolis and a major center for the area. Since the 2011 local government reform, it has been part of the municipality of Argos-Mykines, of which it is a municipal unit. It is 11 kilometers from Napion, which was its historic harbor. A settlement of great antiquity, Argos has been continuously inhabited as at least a substantial village for the past 7,000 years. The city is a member of the most ancient European towns network. A resident of the city of Argos is known as an Argive. However, this term is also used to refer to those ancient Greeks generally who assaulted the city of Troy during the Trojan War. The term is more widely applied by the Homeric bards. Numerous ancient monuments can be found in the city today, the most famous of which is the Heroine of Argos. Agriculture is the mainstay of the local economy. Etymology. The name of the city is very ancient and several etymological theories have been proposed as an explanation to its meaning. The most popular one maintains that the name of the city is a remainder from the Pelasgian language, i.e., the one used by the people who first settled in the area in which Argos meant plain. Alternatively, the name is associated with Argos, the third king of the city in ancient times, who renamed it after himself, thus replacing its older name Phorenikynesti. It is also believed that Argos is linked to the word alpha rho gamma omicron sigma, which meant white possibly. This had to do with the visual impression given of the Argolic plain during harvest time. According to Strabo, the name could have even originated from the word alpha gamma rho omicron sigma by antimetathesis of the consonants. History. Antiquity. As a strategic location on the fertile plain of Argolis, Argos was a major stronghold during the Mycenaean era. In classical times, Argos was a powerful rival of Sparta for dominance over the Peloponnese, but was eventually shunned by other Greek city-states after remaining neutral during the Greco-Persian Wars. There is evidence of continuous settlement in the area starting with a village about 7,000 years ago in the late Neolithic, located on the foot of Aspada Hill. It was colonized in prehistoric times by the Pelasgian Greeks. Since that time, Argos has been continually inhabited at the same geographical location. Its creation is attributed to Pheronius, with its first name having been Phorenikynesti, or the city of Pheronius. The historical presence of the Pelasgian Greeks in the area can be witnessed in the linguistic remainders that survive up to today, such as the very name of the city and Larissa, the name of the city's castle located on the hill of the same name, meaning citadel. The city, located at a rather privileged area among Nemea, Corinth and Arcadia, also benefited by its proximity to Lake Lerna, which, at the time, was at a distance of 1 kilometer from the south end of Argos. During the Dorian invasion, c. 1100 BC, Argos was divided into 4 neighborhoods, each of them inhabited by a different phyle. Argos was a major stronghold of Mycenaean times, and along with the neighboring Acropolis of Mycenae and Tiryns became a very early settlement because of its commanding positions in the midst of the fertile plain of Argolis. Argos experienced its greatest period of expansion and power under the energetic 7th century BC ruler King Phidon. Under Phidon, Argos regained sway over the cities of the Argolid and challenged Sparta's dominance of the Peloponnese. During this time of its greatest power, the city boasted a pottery and bronze sculpturing school, pottery workshops, tanneries and clothes producers. Moreover, at least 25 celebrations took place in the city, in addition to a regular local products exhibition. A sanctuary dedicated to Hera was also found at the same spot where the monastery of Panagia Katakremeni is located today. Argos remained neutral, the ineffective ally of Athens during the 5th century BC struggles between Sparta and Athens. This, however, led to its weakening and loss of power, which led to the shift of commercial focus from the ancient agora to the eastern side of the city, delimited by Danos and Agiou Konstantinou streets. Roman, Byzantine, Crusader, Ottoman rule in independence under Rome, Argos was part of Achaia province, and after its division of Peloponnesus Secundus, where it was a suffragan bishopric of its capital Corinth's metropolitan archbishop. In the aftermath of the so-called Fourth Crusade, the Crusaders captured the castle called built on Larissa Hill, the site of the ancient Acropolis, and the area have become part of the lordship of Argos and Nauplia. In 1388 it was sold to the Republic of Venice, but was taken by the despot of Mistra Theodore I Palaiologos before the Venetians could take control of the city. He sold it anyway to them in 1394. The Crusaders established a Latin bishopric. During Ottoman rule, Argos was divided in 4 mahallas, or quarters: the Roman Mahala, Liapur Mahala, Bakirefenti Mahala, and Karamardza Abeshikla Mahala, respectively, corresponding to what is now the northeastern, the northwestern, the southwestern and southeastern part of the city. The Roman Mahala was also called the quarter of the unfaithful of Argos town in Turkish documents, whereas Liapur Mahala was composed mostly of Albanian emigrants and well-reputed families. As far as Karamardza Mahala is concerned, it was home to the most prominent Turks and boasted a mosque, a Turkish cemetery, Ali Nakan by Serail, Turkish baths and a Turkish school. It is also at this period when the open market of the city is first organized on the site north to Kapodistrias's barracks, at the same spot where it is held in modern times. Interestingly, a mosque would have existed there too. According to the city planning most Ottoman cities followed. Argos grew exponentially during this time, with its sprawl being unregulated and without planning. As French explorer Pouqueville noted, its houses are not aligned, without order, scattered all over the place, divided by home gardens and uncultivated areas. Liapur Mahala appears to have been the most organized, having the best layout, while Bakir Mahala and Karamardza Mahala were the most labyrinthine. However, all quarters shared the same type of streets. Firstly, they all had main streets which were wide, busy and public roads meant to allow for communication between neighborhoods. Secondary streets were also common in all 4 quarters since they lead to the interior of each mahala, having a semi-public character, whereas the third type of streets referred to dead-end private alleys used specifically by families to access the homes. Remnants of this city layout can be witnessed even today, as Argos still preserves several elements of this Ottoman-type style, particularly with its long and complicated streets, its narrow alleys and its densely constructed houses. In 1397, the Ottomans plundered Argos, carrying off much of the population to sell as slaves. The Venetians repopulated the town and region with Albanian settlers, granting them long-term agrarian tax exemptions. Together with the Greeks of Argos, they supplied Stratioti troops to the armies of Venice. Some historians consider the French military term Argolis to derive from the Greek Argetes, or inhabitant of Argos, as a large number of French Stratioti came from the plain of Argos, with the exception of a period of Venetian domination in 1687 to 1715. Argos remained in Ottoman hands until the beginning of the Greek War of Independence in 1821, when wealthy Ottoman families moved to nearby Naples due to its stronger walling. At the time, as part of the general uprising, many local governing bodies were formed in different parts of the country, and the Consulate of Argos was proclaimed on the 28th of March 1821, under the Peloponnesian Senate. It had a single head of state, Starmatellos Antonopoulos, styled consul, between the 28th of March and the 26th of May 1821. Later, Argos accepted the authority of the unified provisional government of the First National Assembly at Epidaurus, and eventually became part of the Kingdom of Greece. With the coming of Governor Ioannis Kapodistrias, the city underwent efforts of modernization. Being an agricultural village, the need for urban planning was vital. For this reason, in 1828, Kapodistrias himself appointed mechanic Stamatis Vulgaris as the creator of a city plan which would offer Argos big streets, squares and public spaces. However, both Vulgaris and, later, French architect de Borochan's plans were not well received by the locals, with the result that the former had to be revised by Zavos. Ultimately, none of the plans were fully implemented. Still, the structural characteristics of de Borochan's plan can be found in the city today, despite obvious proof of pre-revolutionary layout, such as the unorganized urban sprawl testified in the area from Inhabited Street to the point where the railway tracks can be found today. Argos in Greek mythology. The mythological kings of Argos are Anakis, Veronius, Argos, Triopas, Agena, Iesus, Crotipus, Pelasgus, Danaeus, Lynceus, Abas, Proetus, Acrisius, Perseus, Megapenthes, Argius and Anaxagoras. An alternative version supplied by Tatian of the original 17 consecutive kings of Argos includes Apis, Argios, Croesus and Phorbas between Argos and Triopas, explaining the apparent unrelation of Triopas to Argos. The city of Argos was believed to be the birthplace of the mythological character Perseus, the son of the gods Zeus and Danae, who was the daughter of the king of Argos, Acrisius. After the original 17 kings of Argos, there were 3 kings ruling Argos at the same time, one descended from Bias, one from Melempus, and one from Anaxagoras. Melempus was succeeded by his son Mantius, then Oicles, and Amphrous, and his house of Melempus lasted down to the brothers Alcmaeon and Amphilochus. Anaxagoras was succeeded by his son Elector, and then Iphias. Iphias left his kingdom to his nephew Sthenelus, the son of his brother Caponius. Bias was succeeded by his son Talaus, and then by his son Adrastus, who, with Amphrous, commanded the disastrous 7 against Thebes. Adrastus bequeathed the kingdom to his son Aegialus, who was subsequently killed in the War of the Epigoni. Diomedes, grandson of Adrastus through his son-in-law Tydeus and daughter Diopile, replaced Aegialus and was king of Argos during the Trojan War. This house lasted longer than those of Anaxagoras and Melempus, and eventually the kingdom was reunited under its last member, Cyanopus, son of Aegialus, soon after the exile of Diomedes. Ecclesiastical history. After Christianity became established in Argos, the first bishop documented in extant written records is Genethlius, who in 448 CE took part in the synod called by Archbishop Flavian of Constantinople that deposed Eutyches from his priestly office and excommunicated him. The next bishop of Argos, Onesimus, was at the 451 Council of Chalcedon. His successor, Thales, was was a signatory of the letter that the bishops of the Roman province of Hellas sent in 458 to Byzantine Emperor Leo I the Thracian to protest about the killing of Proterius of Alexandria. Bishop Ioann was at the Third Council of Constantinople in 680, and Theotimus at the Phocian Council of Constantinople. For the Orthodox succession, see Metropolis of Argolis. Under Frankish Crusader rule, Argos became a Latin church bishopric in 1212, which lasted as a residential see until Argos was taken by the Ottoman Empire in 1463, but would be revived under the Second Venetian rule in 1686. Suffragan Latin bishops of Argos: Nicola, Augustinian order, previously Bishop of Roman Catholic Diocese of Drivasto; Nicola da Rofida, Friars Minor, previously Bishop of Butrinto, Bishop of Belcastro; Francesco Pavoni, previously Bishop of Cota, titular Latin see. Today, Argos is listed by the Catholic Church as a titular see since the diocese was nominally restored as a Latin Catholic titular bishopric in the 17th century. It is vacant for decades, having had the following incumbents, all of the fitting episcopal rank: Stanislaw Udzicki, Louis Duchesne, Franciszek Zajewski, Stanislaw Loza, Mikołaj Krasicki, Maciej Bystrom, Bernardino della Chiesa, Friars Minor, Johann Alois Schneider, Polycarp Antony Augustin Marchewski, Bernardo Antonio de Riso, Benedictines, Francesco Benassi, Joaquim Marcova de Albuquerque Cavalcanti, Antonio Valbonese, Antonio Muntinho, Andrea Caron Armando Agostino Balman F.M. Oreste Razzi, Bernardo Gerardo Hilhorst. Holy Ghost Fathers. Characteristics. Orientation. The city of Argos is delimited to the north by dry river Xerias, to the east by Inachos River and Pranitsastame, to the west by the Larissa Hill and the Aspidos Hill, and to the south by the Nocios Peripheriakos Road. The Ias Petros Square, along with the eponymous cathedral, make up the town centre, whereas some other characteristic town squares of the like Agora Square, officially Demokratias Square, where, as implied by its name, an open market takes place twice a week, Star Agora, officially Divinikia Square, and Dikosterian Square. Bonis Park is an essential green space of the city. Currently, the most commercially active streets of the city are those surrounding the Ias Petros Square as well as Corinthou Street, the Pesidromi i.e. the paved Michael Stamu, Saldri and Venizelou streets, are the most popular meeting point, encompassing a wide variety of shops and cafeterias. Population. In 700 BC there were at least 5,000 people living in the city. In the 4th century BC, the city was home to as many as 30,000 people. Today, according to the 2011 Greek census, the city has a population of 22,209. It is the largest city in Argolis, larger than the capital Napio. Economy. The primary economic activity in the area is agriculture. Citrus fruits are the predominant crop, followed by olives and apricots. The area is also famous for its local melon variety, Argos melons. There is also important local production of dairy products, factories for foods processing. Considerable remains of the ancient and medieval city survive and are a popular tourist attraction. Important monuments. Argos flaunts a wide variety of historical and archaeological monuments, though most of them are currently only partially renovated, unused or abandoned. Some of them are the Larissa Castle, built during prehistoric time, which has undergone several repairs and expansions since antiquity and played a significant historical role during the Venetian domination of Greece and the Greek War of Independence. It is located on top of the homonymous Larissa Hill, which also constitutes the highest spot of the city. In ancient times, a castle was also found in neighboring Aspidós Hill. When connected with walls, these two castles fortified the city from enemy invasions. The ancient theatre, built in the 3rd century BC with a capacity of 20,000 spectators, replaced an older neighboring theatre of the 5th century BC and communicated with the ancient Agora. It was visible from any part of the ancient city and the Argolic Gulf. In 1829, it was used by Ioannis Kapodistrias for the 4th National Assembly of the new Hellenic state. Today, cultural events are held at its premises during the summer months. The ancient Agora, adjacent to the ancient theatre, which developed in the 6th century BC, was located at the junction of the ancient roads coming from Corinth, Heraeon and Achaia. Excavations in the area have uncovered a bolguterion, built in 460 BC, when Argos adopted the democratic regime of sanctuary of Apollo Lysias on a palestra. The Criterion of Argos, an ancient monument located on the southwest side of the town, on the foot of Larissa Hill, which came to have its current structure during the 6th–3rd century BC period. Initially, it served as a court of ancient Argos similar to Areopagus of Athens. According to mythology, it was at this area where Hypermnestra, one of the 50 daughters of Danaus, the first king of Argos, was tried. Later, under the reigns of Hadrian, a fountain was created to collect and circulate water coming from the Hadrianian aqueduct located in northern Argos. The site is connected via a paved path with the ancient theatre. The barracks of Kapodistrias, a preservable building with a long history, built in the 1690s during the Venetian domination of Greece. They initially served as a hospital run by the Sisters of Mercy. During the Turco-Thracia, they served as a market and a post office. Later, in 1829, significant damage caused during the Greek Revolution was repaired by Kapodistrias, who turned the building into a cavalry barrack, a school, an exhibition space, a shelter for Greek refugees displaced during the population exchange between Greece and Turkey, and an interrogation and torture space. In 1955–68, it was used by the army for the last time. It now accommodates the Byzantine Museum of Argos, local corporations, and also serves as an exhibition space. The municipal neoclassical market building, built in 1889, which is located next to Demokratias Square, is one of the finest samples of modern Argos masterly architecture in Ernst Ziller style. The elongated, two-corridor, preservable building accommodates small shops. The old town hall, built during the time of Kapodistrias in 1830, which originally served as a justice of the peace, the Dimigerontia of Argos, an arm of Carabineers, and a prison. From 1987 to 2012, it housed the town hall, which is now located in Kapodistrio Street. The House of Philhellene Thomas Gordon, built in 1829, that served as an all-girls school, a dance school, and was home to the 4th Greek Artillery Regiment. Today it accommodates the French Institute of Athens, the House of Spyridon Trikoupis, where the politician was born and spent his childhood. Also located in the estate, which is not open to public, is the St. Charalambos Chapel, where Trikoupis was baptized. The House of General Soros, important military fighter in the Greek Revolution of 1821 and later assemblyman of Argos. The chambered tombs of the Aspidós Hill. The Hellenikon Pyramid, dating back to late 4th BC. There exist many theories as to the purpose it served. Together with the widely accepted scientific chronology, there are some people who claim it was built shortly after the pharaoh tomb, i.e., the Great Pyramid of Giza, thus a symbol of the excellent relationship the citizens of Argos had with Egypt. The Argos Airport, located in an homonymous area in the outskirts of the city. The area was created in 1916–1917 and was greatly used during the Greco-Italian War and for the training of new Cabra school aviators for the Hellenic Air Force Academy. It also constituted an important benchmark in the organization of the Greek air forces in southern Greece. Furthermore, the airport was used by the Germans for the release of their aerial troops during the Battle of Crete. It was last used as a landing, take-off point for spray planes up until 1985. A great number of archaeological findings, dating from the prehistoric ages, can be found at the Argos Museum, housed at the old building of Demetrios Kalligas at St. Peter's Square. Transportation. Argos is connected via regular bus services with neighboring areas as well as Athens. In addition, taxi stands can be found at the Ias Petros as well as the Lyki Agora Square. The city also has a railway station which, at the moment, remains closed due to an indefinite halt to all railway services in the Peloponnese area by the Hellenic Railways organization. However, in late 2014, it was announced that the station would open up again, as part of an expansion of the Athens suburban railway in Argos, Naplio and Corinthos. Education. Argos has a wide range of educational institutes that also serve neighboring sparsely populated areas and villages. In particular, the city has 7 demotica, 4 gymnasia, 3 lyceums, 1 vocational school, 1 music school as well as a touristical business and cooking department and a postgraduate ASPETE department. The city also has 2 public libraries. Sports. Argos hosts 2 sport clubs with presence in higher national divisions and several achievements. Panargiakos F.C. Football Club, founded in 1926, and AC Diomidis Argous Handball Club, founded in 1976. Diomidis Argos is the unique provincial Greek sports club with European Cup. Notable locals. Acrisius, mythological king. Agamemnon, legendary leader of the Achaeans in the Trojan War. Acusilaus, logographer and mythographer. Agelades, sculptor. Calchas, Homeric mythological seer. Karanos, founder of the Macedonian Argead dynasty. Leosauros, Byzantine despot. Nikon the Metanueti, Christian saint of Armenian origin, according to some sources born in Argos. Phaedon, king of Argos. Argus, king of Argos. Polykletos, sculptor. Polykletos the younger, sculptor. Telesia, Greek poet. Philestes, hetera and lover of Pharaoh Ptolemy II. Philadelphus. Eleni Bakopanos P. Canadian politician. International relations. Twin towns and AMP. Sister cities. Argos is twinned with Veria, Greece. Abbeville, France. Episcopi, Cyprus. Mtskata, Georgia. Other relations. Most ancient European towns network.